After 17 years of teaching, this is what I wish somebody would have told me a long time ago. I did a workshop on this, y'all, and it was great. I set this up for a school. It's super easy to do, but I will gladly help you through this. You can make a free Google Form bathroom hall pass for your classroom or your school, totally free. Link that to a QR code. Everyone can use it. It'll timestamp the students in and out for you when they checked in, checked out, whatever, however you want to do it. Pull that puppy up for parent-teacher conference and just see how many times that student's out of that classroom. Watch. What you need to do, once you open up a Google form, blank Google form, all you're going to need is something to use for your QR code generator. I use Canva because everybody loves Canva, right? You need a device to scan on. There's actually an NFC version of this, but we'll talk about that later. You just go to your roster, copy and paste all your students. So I have a roster here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to hit Control C, that copies, and then when you want to paste something, hold it down, Control V will actually paste. So I'm going to go back to my Google form. I have copied my roster, which is just a mock roster. Like, AI generated the roster for me. These are not real kids, promise. They're not real students. Like, I'm not going to share all that stuff on here. No. Okay, so we're going to call this Miss Former's Pass. And if you want to put like a room number, room 202, whatever, however you want to do it, great. So the first thing we're going to put on here is this sign in and sign out, because we have to know if they're leaving or like coming in, going, what are we doing? The next thing we're going to do is click the little button on the top that says add question. So here's where your options are going to be. So we're going to put restroom, nurse, office, library, whatever. Always put other, because there's always these weird little reasons you're like, okay, I guess. Or if you want to type in whatever teacher they're going to go to, like they need to go get something out of their classroom, or they're turning in something, I don't know, whatever. Put other, and that way it shows up whenever you have your responses. That's smart. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to hit add question, and here's where you're going to put your roster. This is where your students are going to go. Remember, we copy, we're going to paste it in here. So I'm going to have my drop down. You can do it however you want to. I just like a drop down because there's only one option for that one. Hit your Control V, and it's going to paste those students in there. I have a blank spot right there. I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to add other, because I need to make sure that if I get a new student or whatever it may be, that I have a place to put them. Now, I want to make sure I publish this first so I can use this Google form. So I'm going to go up to the top, I'm going to hit publish, and then yes, that's great. What we don't want to do is give editing rights to everyone. That's not a good thing. They don't need to change our form. It's yours. Keep it. So I'm going to go over here and click the little three dots and get the pre-filled form. The pre-filled form is going to show me the exact form, and I can pre-fill it and get a link if I want to, or just leave it like this and copy and paste the website, like what's up in the browser, copy and paste that to my QR code generator. So to get that, I'm going to go to Canva, my handy dandy Canva. And once I open it up, I want a flyer or a worksheet. That's what I personally like to work in, because I want to print this off. And what I do is actually make 2 copies of the QR code and what it is. Put a title. We have to know whose QR code it is and where it goes. But on your apps in the bottom, there's actually, so go on to the left side, go all the way down, and you can just type in QR code generator or just QR code. It'll probably show up. Easy. Okay. So there's my QR code. I'm just going to do a simple QR code. And I'm going to come over here to my forms. Now, again, we want to make sure we're not putting in the form that we edit on, because that's going to give everybody that link to edit on the Google Forms. We want the Google form that is the pre-filled link, like the actual, like type it in, like use it document of form. We want to make sure that we get the pre-filled, like the blank, the actual form. So I'm going to make sure that I'm on the form, not the editing version. I should not see responses. I should not have access to all that stuff. I'm going to copy and paste the non-editing version. So copy, Control C, come over to your QR code generator and hit Control V. Then you're going to update that code. They're going to make that code. You can do these online. It's fine. Canva just has them built into it, so it's a lot easier. Plus, it's easier to use. I don't know. So I'm going to take that code, I'm going to hit copy and paste on the picture of it. That way I have 2 versions, because I like to fold my hall pass in half and then I have a front and a back QR code in case I need to, I don't know, use one side or the other, whatever. It's just easier to use. So now I have my QR codes. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to get a text box and I'm going to put Fulmer's, it doesn't matter, whatever you want to call it, Hall Pass or Pass, I think is what our Google form says. So we're going to match it. So I want two of these. I'm going to copy and paste this. There's actually, you can right click and duplicate it like that. Put it over here. And then I'm going to fold this paper just straight down the middle, laminate it, done. I would make a few copies of these, decorate it, make it cute. Give me just a second, I'll get that done. I have put a background to my words. I put a whole background to the entire pass. I'm going to fold that in half after I print it off. So I'm going to hit share on Canva, download that. I like to download it as a PDF for printing. You can do it as a JPEG, however you want your document to look. Okay, so once I have it printed, we can use a Chromebook, we can use an old phone, we can use a tablet, we can use a computer as long as there's a camera, whatever that reads a QR code, we got this. Let me show you. Okay, so here's my print off, and I'm going to take an old phone that I have and I'm going to scan it and then click this link. After I click the link, and it can be whatever device you want it to be, I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. I'm going to choose a reason for it, and then I'm going to say it's whatever student, and I'm going to submit that thing, and that's going to record it on my responses for me. Alright, so let's look at this response system. So here's what I can see. Whenever I look at the responses, I see that 6 that have signed out. The reason, they've all been to the restroom. And it's going to keep collecting that data here. So up here, when you go to your Google Sheets, you can actually see this, which is great for parent-teacher conferences because these days where it automatically time-stamp for me on this form that little Drew has signed out multiple times. It's great to use for parent-teacher conference because when they're always in the hallway or in the restroom or wherever they may be, they're not learning. You have permission from your admin. Make sure you have permission. I send a letter home and just saying like, hey, this is what we're going to use. We have a little pass system that, I have in class. Just for safety concerns, that's always good to know. And you can also see when other teachers use this, you can actually link the forms together. When you start seeing the friends always going to the bathroom together or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, it has your documentation for you. You can also do discipline system the same way. Make another one, keep this on your desk, and it'll be just for discipline. You can send it into the office can have a copy of it as well. I send this to my admin so they have a copy of their bathroom and sign in, sign out passage just so they can see if they need it, if there was ever a discussion or a fight or whatever it might be. Where were you and what time did you leave that classroom? When did you get back to that classroom? So it's a consistency thing, but it works across the board.